Welcome. Close your eyes and enjoy this segment on the Cretaceous. The night is quiet. The stars glimmer overhead, the same stars you and I know, though the constellations are shifted, unfamiliar. Beneath their light stretches a world transformed. The Triassic and the Jurassic have passed. Now the Cretaceous begins. It is an age of warmth. The continents are moving apart, drifting on the restless skin of the Earth. The Atlantic Ocean, once a narrow rift, has widened into a true sea. Vast shallow waters flood the lowlands, dividing land masses, fragmenting once continuous habitats into islands, peninsulas, and archipelagos. Climate is kind, with no polar ice to lock water away. The world is humid, green, and fertile. This new geography creates new possibilities. Isolation fosters diversity. Populations adapt to their separate corners, changing into new forms. What was once familiar becomes strange, and slowly, the cast of life alters. For millions of years, the mighty sauropods have been the architects of the landscape, reshaping forests as they move. Their long necks still rise like moving towers, feeding on high branches, stripping vast areas of greenery. Yet even here, change whispers. The once dominant diplodocids of the Jurassic begin to dwindle. In their place rise new lineages, Tyrannosaurians, who will become the giants of this final age. They are not yet the masters they will be, but their shadow falls across the horizon. Among the mid-sized herbivores, another shift occurs. Early in the Cretaceous, herds of Iguanodon roam the plains. They are large, heavy-bodied animals, walking on both 2 legs and 4. Their thumbs end in conical spikes, formidable weapons against predators. They graze in groups, moving cautiously, heads lifting often to scan for danger. They are among the first of the great ornithopods, a lineage that will one day give rise to the duck-billed hadrosaurs. For now, they are pioneers, filling the role once claimed by stegosaur herds. Look closer at the undergrowth, and you will see another quiet revolution. Sprouting between ferns and cycads are plants of a new kind, flowering plants, the angiosperms. Their blooms are small, fragile compared to the towering conifers around them, but they carry within them a power that will reshape ecosystems forever. Flowers offer nectar, scent, and color. They lure insects into partnerships. Pollination becomes more efficient, more precise. In time, these plants will diversify into countless forms, carpeting the earth with blossoms, fruits, and seeds. For now they are subtle presences, quiet and almost hidden. But history begins here, in these delicate petals. And where flowers appear, insects answer. Bees have not yet risen, but beetles, flies, and early wasps move busily among the blossoms. Tiny wings glint in the sun, their hum filling the warm air. It is a world not only of giants, but of details, of small changes that ripple outward. The predators of this dawn are as varied as the prey they pursue. Spinosaurids appear along the rivers and deltas. Their long snouts bristle with conical teeth, better suited for gripping fish than for slicing flesh. Some grow to staggering sizes, 15 meters or more, prowling the edges of waterways like crocodiles on 2 legs. Their sail-like spines rise against the horizon, strange and almost unreal. They are hunters of both land and water, amphibious rulers of the floodplains. Elsewhere roam the Carcharodontosaurs, great carnivores with serrated teeth sharp as knives. They hunt the herds, challenging the might of Iguanodon and its kin. Their bodies are massive yet sleek, their strides long and powerful. They are built for pursuit, for sudden rushes that end in brutal collisions. And yet, not all predators are giants. In the shadows dart smaller hunters, nimble and sharp. Early relatives of the dromaeosaurs, the raptors, appear, their sickle claws curved and gleaming. They are fast, clever, eyes alert, movements coordinated. They strike not at the great herds but at the unwary, the young, the weak. Their agility is their strength. Above them the skies are no longer the realm of chance. Pterosaurs flourish in great diversity. Some are small, with wingspans no larger than a crow's, darting through the air in pursuit of insects. Others stretch wider than a man is tall, soaring on ocean breezes. Their wings catch the sun, shadows sweeping across the ground below. The age of flight deepens, richer than before, though it will not remain solely theirs. For hidden in the branches, in nests no larger than your hand, small feathered creatures begin to stir. Birds, the descendants of theropod dinosaurs, their voices soft, their wings still awkward but promising. They are the future, fragile though they seem. The seas of the early Cretaceous are alive as well. Vast, shallow oceans cover much of the continents, rich in nutrients, swarming with life. Shoals of fish glitter like mirrors, ammonites coil through the currents, and marine reptiles glide in pursuit. Long-necked plesiosaurs sweep their heads through schools of fish, while plesiosaurs still linger, their massive jaws snapping shut on anything large enough to tempt them. But their reign will fade as new rulers rise, the mosasaurs, who even now begin their first steps into dominance, lizards returning to the sea, destined to grow into leviathans. If you stand in this world, really stand, as though you could walk across the damp earth and smell the resin of the conifers, you will notice its richness, its balance, but also its strangeness. So much is familiar. The forests, the rivers, the cries of animals, and yet everything is alien. The plants are not quite the same, the animals immense, the skies filled with wings unlike any alive today. It is a place at once beautiful and unsettling. Time moves slowly here. The days stretch into years, the years into ages. The dinosaurs thrive, the plants spread, the seas roar with predators. Each niche fills, empties, and fills again. Ecosystems stabilize, only to shift as climates warm or cool, as seas advance or retreat. Across millions of years, the early Cretaceous builds its story, setting the stage for the golden middle and the tragic end. We leave this first chapter with the world alive, vibrant, and poised for greater things. Sauropods still thunder across the land. Ornithopods gather in herds. Spinosaurids stalk the rivers. Flowers bloom cautiously, quietly rewriting the rules of life. The skies hum with wings, both leathery and feathered. The oceans stretch wide, filling with hunters of every shape. It is the dawn of a new age, the beginning of the end, though no creature living then could know it. The Cretaceous continues, millions of years drifting past like waves on a boundless sea. What began in quiet promise now swells into a world of abundance, a fullness of life that spreads across land, ocean, and sky. The earth itself has shifted. The continents drift farther apart, carried slowly across the mantle. North America splits from Europe, Africa drifts toward isolation, and South America begins to part from its northern neighbor. The Atlantic Ocean widens, filling with salt water, rolling with storms. Shallow seas cover the heartlands, stretching across what is now North America, Africa, and Asia. The planet is warmer than today, lush and humid, its forests deep, its coasts alive with swamps and deltas. This new geography fosters variety. Where once the great continents supported a few dominant lineages, now separation breeds diversity. Dinosaurs multiply into countless forms, each adapted to its patch of the earth. Some grow immense, others shrink small. Some graze, some browse, some hunt, some scavenge. In this middle Cretaceous, we witness the height of their experimentation as life explores every possibility. Let us begin with the rivers. Along the waterways of what will one day be North Africa, strange shadows gather. There, in the mud and reeds, looms Spinosaurus, perhaps the strangest of all the great carnivores. Longer than Tyrannosaurus, heavier than most of its rivals, it is a creature caught between worlds. Its skull is long and narrow, more like a crocodile's than a dinosaur's. Its jaws are lined with conical teeth, perfect for gripping slippery fish. Its back is crowned with towering spines, forming a great sail that rises above the reeds. Some imagine it as a display, others as a heat regulator. But whatever its purpose, it is unmistakable, an icon of this age. Spinosaurus is a hunter of both river and land. It wades into the shallows, waiting motionless until a fish passes, then snaps its jaws shut in an explosion of spray. It drags its prey ashore, swallowing it whole, then slips back into the current. In this age, the river's edge belongs to Spinosaurus. But Spinosaurus is not alone. In the same lands prowl the Carcharodontosaurs, immense hunters with skulls longer than a man is tall. Their teeth are serrated, shaped like sharks' blades, designed to tear through flesh in gory chunks. Unlike Spinosaurus, they hunt the great herbivores, surging from cover in sudden rushes, jaws snapping shut around muscle and bone. Their name means shark-toothed lizard, and it is well earned. They are the lions of their day, dominant across Africa, South America, and Asia. One, called Giganotosaurus, grows nearly as large as Tyrannosaurus will. Another, Carcharodontosaurus itself, rules the floodplains of North Africa, rivaling even Spinosaurus in size. Yet predators are nothing without prey, and the prey of this time are many. Herds of sauropods continue to thunder across the plains, not the familiar diplodocids of the Jurassic, but new forms, the Tyrannosaurs. Their necks stretch long, their bodies massive, their tails sweeping like whips. Some grow into the largest land animals that have ever lived, weighing more than 50 tons, their footsteps shaking the earth. In South America, giants like Argentinosaurus begin to appear, vast as mountains, their bulk almost beyond comprehension. They feed on conifers and flowering trees, reshaping the land wherever they roam. Alongside them graze the ornithopods, ever more diverse. Early relatives of hadrosaurs grow numerous, feeding in herds, raising their young in groups. Some walk on all fours, others rear up to pluck at low branches. Their beaks crop vegetation efficiently, and their grinding teeth process it into pulp. They are adaptable, flexible, survivors in a changing world. The air itself has changed. By now, flowering plants have spread widely, their colors and scents filling the landscape. They remain smaller than the towering pines and cycads, but their influence grows each year. Insects respond eagerly. Beetles, wasps, moths, and flies swarm from bloom to bloom, carrying pollen. The partnership between insect and flower strengthens, and together they spread across continents. Soon, entire meadows of blossoms will appear, a sight alien to the Jurassic. This quiet revolution nourishes not only insects, but also the animals that feed on them, small mammals, lizards, and early birds, all finding sustenance among the blooms. Above, the skies belong to the pterosaurs, who have grown more varied than ever before. Some are small, flitting after insects. Others stretch vast, soaring above coasts and rivers. In this middle Cretaceous, they reach forms of staggering size. One, Iguanodon, has a wingspan longer than a car, its crest sweeping back from its skull. It glides over the western interior seaway, diving for fish before returning to its cliffside nests. Another, the hadrosaurs, rise taller still. With wingspans approaching 10 meters and bodies the height of a giraffe, they stride across floodplains like stilted hunters, using their long beaks to spear prey from the ground. They are the titans of the sky, outmatching all that came before. But a quiet contest stirs in the branches below them. Small feathered creatures, the birds, are multiplying. Descended from raptors, they grow more skilled with each passing age. Their wings strengthen, their flight more controlled, their songs more complex. Some remain small insect hunters, while others adapt to fish, seeds, and fruit. They are still overshadowed by the mighty pterosaurs, but their day will come. And beneath the surface of the seas, another transformation takes hold. In the shallow waters of Europe and North America, new rulers appear, the mosasaurs. At first, they are modest, little more than lizards who have returned to the ocean. But they are quick learners. Their bodies elongate, their limbs transform into flippers, their tails become powerful propellers. Soon, they grow large, then enormous, hunting fish, ammonites, and even other marine reptiles. Their jaws are double-hinged, able to swallow prey whole. In time, they will become the undisputed masters of the oceans, but already their rise has begun. Imagine, then, the world in this age. Vast rivers choked with reeds, where Spinosaurus waits with patience older than time, floodplains echoing with the bellows of Tyrannosaurs, shaking the ground beneath their weight. Forests blooming with flowers, fragrant and bright, humming with insects. Skies darkened by the sweep of Pteranodon's wings, the glint of hadrosaurs' beaks. Seas rolling with mosasaurs, their sleek bodies cutting through the water like shadows. It is a world of giants and abundance, of richness almost beyond measure. Yet with abundance comes fragility. The ecosystems are intricate, balanced on countless relationships. Remove one, and another trembles. Introduce change, and the whole structure shifts. In this way, the Middle Cretaceous sets the stage for what is to come. The golden climax of the dinosaurs' reign, and the final twilight that will follow. For now, though, the world expands. Life flourishes in every direction. Each continent, each sea, each sky is filled with creatures unimaginable in their diversity. The Cretaceous is not just the age of dinosaurs. It is the age of possibilities, of experiments, of every shape life can take. And though we know its end will be sudden and terrible, in this moment the age is endless, stretching on like the horizon itself. The world has swelled into fullness. The Middle Cretaceous has passed, and with it the great experiments of Spinosaurus and its kin, the first blooms of flowering plants, the first stirrings of mosasaurs in the sea. Now the age enters its peak, and the land bursts with life more varied than ever before. This is the Golden Age of Dinosaurs, when every niche is filled, every continent alive with motion and sound. The continents, by now, have drifted farther apart. South America is cut off from Africa. North America has split from Europe, drifting westward into isolation. India sails northward on its lonely voyage, destined one day to collide with Asia. Oceans widen, shallow seaways flood the interiors, and climates warm. The Earth is greenhouse hot, with no permanent ice at the poles. Vast plains and forests stretch across the continents, their canopies buzzing with insects, their undergrowth teeming with mammals and lizards. It is into this greenhouse world that the most iconic dinosaurs step forward. Let us first wander to the northern plains of what is now North America. There, The land rolls with rivers and deltas, swamps thick with cypress trees, meadows filled with flowers. From the distance comes a low rumble, the sound of thousands of hooves and feet moving together. A herd is on the march. At first glance, they resemble giant horses, but closer, we see the crests on their heads, the duck-like beaks on their mouths. These are the hadrosaurs, the duck-billed dinosaurs, and they are among the most successful of all. The hadrosaurs feed in groups, their numbers providing safety, their herds stretching for kilometers. They crop ferns, chew leaves, strip branches, grinding the food with batteries of teeth, hundreds packed tightly together, replaced endlessly through life. Each bite is pulverized, each mouthful swallowed, and their great stomachs churn it down. They are the grazers of their age, as abundant as antelope or bison today. Some, like Parasaurolophus, bear long, hollow crests that curve back over their skulls. Through these tubes, they call to one another, producing deep, resonant sounds, low notes that roll across the wetlands like foghorns, signaling to mates, guiding the herd, warning of danger. Others, like Corythosaurus, wear crests shaped like helmets, proud displays above their faces. Each species has its own shape, its own voice, its own story, and where hadrosaurs thrive, so too do their protectors and rivals, the ceratopsians. These are the horned dinosaurs, a lineage that has blossomed into myriad forms. Small ones graze quietly in the forests, but the great ones stride across the plains. Picture Triceratops, though its reign lies still in the future. Already, its ancestors walk the earth. Centrosaurus, Styracosaurus, Chasmosaurus, each with horns and frills, each with patterns of spikes and bosses unique to their kind. Their frills flare from their skulls like shields, edged with spikes, decorated with colors in life. Their horns thrust forward, some straight, some curved, some branching. These are weapons, yes, but also signals, displays to rivals, signs to mates, warnings to predators. In herds, they form living fortresses, parents guarding calves within circles of horns and frills. Their presence transforms the plains into something both perilous and magnificent. Among them, balance must be kept, and so the predators rise. In the north, the lineage of Tyrannosaurs grows ever stronger. At first, they are not yet giants, small, sleek hunters, 2 or 3 meters long, chasing prey in packs. But as the Golden Age advances, they grow larger, more powerful. Their skulls broaden, their jaws strengthen, their teeth become thick and crushing. By the end of this age, they will become the undisputed rulers of the north. In Asia, Tarbosaurus stalks the floodplains, a cousin to what will become Tyrannosaurus rex. In North America, smaller forms like Albertosaurus already chase herds of hadrosaurs, their long legs carrying them swiftly across mudflats and grasslands. But the Tyrannosaurs are not alone. In the south, other hunters hold dominion. The Carcharodontosaurs continue their reign in South America, immense and blade-toothed. In Argentina, Mapusaurus hunts the giant sauropods, possibly working in groups to bring down prey larger than themselves. And in the deserts of Mongolia, another predator stalks with strange proportions. Therizinosaurus, a giant with long, curved claws, longer than a man's arm. Once thought a predator, it is now believed to be a herbivore, using its claws to rake branches, pulling leaves close to its beak. Yet its form is so alien that it remains a creature of mystery, a reminder that the age of dinosaurs was never simple, always varied, always surprising. We must not forget the oceans, for there too the Golden Age blooms. By now the mosasaurs have taken full command, great lizards of the sea, They stretch 10, 12, 15 meters long, their jaws lined with conical teeth. They swim with powerful tails, gliding like serpents through the water. They are the whales of their day, the orcas and sharks rolled into one. Some specialize in hunting fish, some crush shells, some swallow birds and turtles, some even devour other mosasaurs. Alongside them swim plesiosaurs, with long necks and tiny heads, darting after fish, and pliosaurs, shorter-necked but heavily muscled, their jaws snapping down on squid and ammonites. Above, seabirds wheel, their wings catching the sun as they dive for prey. The oceans are alive with predators, each wave concealing teeth. And above it all, the skies still hold the reign of the pterosaurs. They have reached their greatest diversity now, from the small, insect-hunting anurognathids to the vast ajdarchids, striding like storks across coastal plains. In the skies above the interior seas of North America, Tyrannosaurus rules, its crests rising like banners, its wings stretched wider than a small plane. They nest by the thousands on cliffsides, their cries carrying across the waves. They dive with grace, plucking fish from the shallows, then soar again, wheeling in thermal currents. They are masters of the wind, filling every niche from insect eaters to ocean hunters. Yet beneath them, the birds continue their quiet ascent. Feathered, beaked, small-bodied, they slip into forests, feeding on seeds, insects, and fruit. Some nest on the ground, some in branches, some along coasts. Their bones are light, their flight controlled. Though they still live in the shadow of the pterosaurs, their resilience grows. In time, they will outlast their rivals. But for now, they share the skies, part of a world at its richest. This is the Cretaceous at its height. Herds thunder across plains, horns clash in combat, crests echo across wetlands, predators stalk, rivers boil with reptiles, skies thunder with wings. Never before, and never again, has the earth held such variety, such richness. It is a golden age in every sense, the dinosaurs not merely surviving, but flourishing in forms beyond count. And yet, woven through this brilliance is a whisper of impermanence. Ecosystems this complex, this abundant, are also delicate. A shift in climate, a fall of sea level, a change in temperature, all can ripple outward. For now, the balance holds. For now, the golden age shines. But the story of the dinosaurs is not eternal. Ahead, the shadow lengthens, and in the distance waits the final chapter. The golden age is at its height, but time moves forward, as it always does. The Cretaceous begins to lean toward its close, though the creatures of earth, sea, and sky know nothing of the end that waits for them. To their eyes, the world is not fragile, but full and alive, every horizon crowded with movement, every forest ringing with sound. It is now the late Cretaceous, the final 20 million years of the dinosaurs' reign. The continents stand in near familiar shapes. North America lies separate from Asia, though from time to time land bridges form, allowing creatures to wander between them. South America has drifted farther still, isolated and unique. Africa has split from Europe, carrying its own fauna. India sails steadily northward, closer each year to Asia, though its collision still lies millions of years ahead. Australia and Antarctica drift together near the southern pole, wrapped in forests despite the long winter dark. The climate is warm, though cooler than before. The great inland seas spread across North America, splitting it into two land masses: Laramidia to the west, Appalachia to the east. On the western side, mountains rise, the early stirrings of the Rockies, their slopes feeding rivers into the inland sea. Plains stretch from those rivers outward, green and wide, filled with life. This is the stage upon which the final dinosaurs play their parts. Let us wander there, onto the western plains of Laramidia. The sun falls across fields of ferns and flowering plants, across rivers glinting with fish, across herds moving slowly in the distance. The most striking of them all are the ceratopsians, the horned dinosaurs who now dominate the land. Their frills rise like shields, their horns like spears, each species with its own design. Among them strides the most famous of all, Triceratops. Picture it clearly. The size of a truck, its skull vast, its brow crowned with two forward-curving horns, its nose tipped with a shorter one. Behind, its frill flares, edged with bone, perhaps bright with color in life. Triceratops moves in groups, adults watching over calves, their horns glinting in the sun. They graze on low plants, their beaks clipping stems, their teeth grinding leaves. When threatened, they form a wall, horns facing outward, a living barricade against danger. They are symbols of defense, of solidarity, of power. And what danger must they face? Across the plains, a shadow moves. A predator has risen to its throne. It is the last, the greatest, the most famous of all. Tyrannosaurus rex. Tyrannosaurus is a colossus of flesh and bone. 12 meters long, 4 meters tall at the hip, it weighs nearly as much as an elephant herd combined. Its head alone is the size of a man, its jaws filled with teeth like railroad spikes, thick and serrated. Unlike the slender, slicing teeth of earlier predators, these are built to crush, to shatter bone. One bite can splinter a skull, snap a femur, reduce a carcass to ruin. Its muscles are immense, its legs powerful, carrying it at surprising speed. Its eyes face forward, granting depth of vision. Its nose is filled with sensors, its brain wired for smell, able to track prey over kilometers. It is no mindless killer, but a patient, cunning hunter. Some days it follows herds of hadrosaurs, waiting for the weak to fall behind. Some days it stalks ceratopsians, testing the edges of the herd, searching for gaps. It does not always kill, sometimes it scavenges, driving smaller predators from carcasses, its bulk enough to claim any prize. But when it strikes, it does so with finality. A charge, a crash, a single bite, and the struggle is over. The late Cretaceous is the age of giants and contrasts. Alongside the Triceratops and Tyrannosaurus roam the hadrosaurs, even more varied than before. Edmontosaurus moves in herds of hundreds, their broad snouts sweeping the ground for plants. Lambeosaurus raises its hatchet-shaped crest, its calls echoing across valleys. Their numbers fill the land, their migrations carving paths across plains. They are the beating heart of the ecosystem, feeding predators, fertilizing forests, shaping the landscape itself. Farther south, in what is now South America, other wonders live. There, the Tyrannosaurs never came. Instead, a different predator holds the crown, Giganotosaurus, and later Carnotaurus, swift and strange with its short snout and horned face. The herbivores, too, are different. Giant sauropods linger here, titans like Argentinosaurus, one of the largest to ever walk the earth. Its body stretches over 30 meters, its weight beyond comprehension, its neck rising like a living tower above the trees. Around it move herds of smaller dinosaurs, each adapted to this southern world. South America, cut off, has become its own stage, its creatures unique, its story distinct. The oceans, too, are at their peak. The mosasaurs have grown enormous, some more than 15 meters long. They rule the seas utterly, their bodies sleek, their jaws powerful, their tails propelling them like living torpedoes. They devour turtles, fish, birds, even one another. The plesiosaurs linger, their long necks darting after prey, while seabirds dive in flocks, wings flashing above the waves. Ammonites spiral in the depths, their shells gleaming, their tentacles grasping. The seas are not empty, but crowded with life, every layer from surface to abyss, filled with struggle and survival. Above, the skies are changing. The pterosaurs remain, but their diversity wanes. Only the great ajdarchids thrive, their wingspans stretching 10 meters, their legs long and stilted, their beaks sharp. They stride across coastal flats like giant herons, plucking prey from the ground, then launch into flight, casting shadows like small planes. But the skies no longer belong to them alone. The birds have taken their chance. Small, feathered, adaptable, they spread into forests, marshes, mountains. They eat seeds, insects, fruit, fish. They nest in trees, they migrate, they diversify. They are the heirs of flight, their line carrying forward when the pterosaurs fall. And beneath it all, the mammals persist. Small, nocturnal, overlooked, they scurry through undergrowth, dig burrows, climb branches. Some eat insects, some gnaw plants, some steal eggs from nests. They remain in the shadows, but their story is waiting. In time, when the giants are gone, they will rise to fill the empty spaces. The Cretaceous nears its end. Life is full, vibrant, endless, yet fragile. For overhead, a rock hurtles through space, a piece of asteroid 6 miles across, drawn on a course it has followed for millions of years. Its path is unchanging, its speed unstoppable. It is aimed at the Earth, at the shallow seas of what is now the Yucatan Peninsula. The dinosaurs cannot know, the forests cannot sense, the oceans cannot prepare. But soon, the age will close in fire. The day comes. The asteroid strikes. In an instant, the sky burns, the seas rise, the land shakes. A crater forms 100 miles across, the impact vaporizing rock, flinging fire into the air. Shockwaves race outward, forests ignite, hurricanes of heat sweep the globe. Dust and soot rise into the stratosphere, spreading across the world, turning day to night. Photosynthesis falters, plants wither, ecosystems collapse. The giants fall, one by one. Not all at once. Some survive for months, years, even decades in dwindling refuges. But the balance is broken, the Golden Age undone. The great dinosaurs vanish, their voices silenced, their herds gone. The pterosaurs fade, the mosasaurs sink, the ammonites spiral into extinction. And yet, not all is lost. Birds endure, mammals endure, life itself endures, reshaping, rebalancing, moving forward. The age of dinosaurs ends, but the story of the Earth continues. In the silence after the fire, seeds still germinate, rivers still flow, winds still stir. From the ashes, new forms will rise. The reign of the dinosaurs, 180 million years long, closes. The reign of mammals begins. And so we leave the Cretaceous, not in despair, but in awe. For though the age has ended, its memory remains. Every fossil in stone, every bird in the sky, every flower blooming in the sun, carries with it the echo of those lost worlds. To tell their story is to keep them alive, not in body, but in mind, forever part of the great tapestry of time.